Welcome to biology class 6. So today we are going to continue with the chapter digestive system in humans. Last time we had done till the mouth, isn't it? So we did the different types of teeth and their functions. Okay, so today we are going to start with the three organs. Okay, we are going to cover these three organs: salivary gland, esophagus and stomach. So let me first start with salivary glands. Okay, so before I start with this salivary glands, I would just like to say that all of us know that our mouth is never dry, isn't it? It is always watering, and sometimes you feel more moisture inside the mouth. And especially when you are hungry or you see your favorite food, isn't it? So this moisture inside the mouth, okay, the water, that is known as saliva. Alright, so this saliva is produced by the salivary glands. Okay, you have the salivary glands inside your mouth, which are like three pairs. We have three pairs of salivary glands. Okay, I will show you everything, the position of all these three glands. So let us start now. So salivary glands are a group of organs present in our mouth that secretes saliva. Okay, so it is found in mammals only. Okay, this is one of the peculiar features of the mammals. It is an exocrine gland. Alright, so it is an exocrine gland because it flows through the duct. Alright, so this is secreted through the duct. That's why we call it exocrine gland. Okay, so later you will know in class 6 the difference between exocrine and endocrine glands. Okay, but right now you just remember that it is an exocrine gland that secretes substances outside the body or within a body cavity. Okay, so saliva contains, so what is this saliva? Okay, what is present? So saliva contains various chemicals with water, including mucus, salts, antibacterial substances. Okay, so please remember your saliva is antibacterial. Alright, enzymes and chemicals that control the pH in the mouth. So it has got various functions also. We'll come to this later. Okay, so it is very, very important to have saliva secreted in your mouth. Okay, if it is not secreted, it becomes very difficult for us to chew our food, for us to swallow our food, as well as speak. Okay, so I'm going to show you a picture now. Okay, these are the three pairs of salivary glands. That means we have 6 salivary glands. Alright, so these are the locations. Okay, so the one is parotid gland, sublingual gland, and we have submandibular gland. So these are the 3 salivary glands which secrete saliva. Alright, so saliva is a fluid which contains an important enzyme, amylase, which converts starch into maltose. Alright, so let us do how it performs the function. Okay, so functions of the saliva. Number 1, lubricates and moistens the inner of the oral cavity. Okay, this is oral cavity. Okay, along with the surface of the tongue, aiding in swallowing and speaking. Okay, so it helps in swallowing and speaking. Alright, so next we have lubricates and moistens food, thus aiding in swallowing. Okay, so when we eat food, it moistens our food. If our mouth is very dry and we start chewing our food, okay, then first of all, it will not be, the food particles will not break down properly also. Okay, if there is no saliva, so saliva helps to moisten the food and breaking down the food into simpler substances. Aids in food particles to stick together. Okay, so as you take in your food, okay, that is known as ingestion. You chew it with your teeth. Okay, all this we have done in the last class. and there's a formation of bolus. Okay, it's the food turns into a substance known as bolus. Okay, so that bolus is the substance which you can swallow it. Alright, so cleans the mouth, tending to destroy germs to prevent tooth decay. As I've mentioned earlier, it is antibacterial, so it cleans the mouth. Brings about the conversion of starch into maltose through the enzyme ptyalin. Ptyalin is a type of amylase. Okay, it helps to break down starch into maltose. Okay, so just look at this. Starch breaks down into maltose. Okay, sugar, which is maltose. Okay, so this is done by the enzyme amylase. Now remember the names of the enzyme. Okay, so enzymes are the chemical substance which helps to break down the food into simpler substances. Okay, so this is the first enzyme we have come across. All right, so just remember in this chapter. Okay, this is the first enzyme, amylase. Okay, so one by one we'll do. So you have to remember the names of all the enzymes and their functions. Okay, now let us start with another organ which is known as esophagus. So as you swallow the food, okay, which is like broken down by the saliva into simple form, which if you swallow it, okay, you swallow through a food pipe. It goes through a food pipe, which is also known as esophagus. Okay, it's a biological term for the food pipe. Okay, so food pipe is a long and narrow tube which runs from the back of your throat down to the chest. Okay, and it opens to the stomach. Alright, so esophagus is a muscular tube. It connects your mouth to your stomach. When you swallow food, then what happens? The walls of the esophagus, okay, squeeze together. It contracts. Otherwise, if it does not contract, it does not have this function of contracting. Okay, then the food will not move down. Okay, so this moves the food down the esophagus to the stomach. So this important movement, okay, which leads your food from your mouth to the stomach, okay, this through a food pipe, this movement of the food pipe is known as peristalsis. Okay, this movement is there throughout the alimentary canal, but especially in the food pipe. Okay, so the upper part of the esophagus is behind the windpipe, which is trachea. Alright, so you know pharynx, isn't it? So which leads to the esophagus and trachea. Okay, esophagus is the food pipe, trachea is the windpipe, and pharynx is the common pipe for both the tube, which is esophagus and trachea. Alright, so I'll show you here. Peristalsis is a series of wave-like muscle contraction that moves food to different processing stations in the digestive tract. Okay. The strong wave-like motions of the smooth muscle in the esophagus carry the food to the stomach. So this is how you can see it in the picture. This is how it contracts and leads the ball of the food downwards. Alright, where it is churned into a liquid mixture called chyme. So just look at this video. Alright, here you will see how the food goes down. It's going down, isn't it? And it goes to the stomach. Alright, by the movement. You can see the esophagus, isn't it, contracting and it leading the food down to the stomach. Alright. Okay, so this is how it goes. Okay. So we now come to the next organ, which is stomach. Okay, so the stomach is a muscular organ located on the left side of the upper abdomen. Alright, so it is in the upper abdomen. You know the position of the stomach. You have drawn the digestive system, isn't it? All of you have drawn that diagram. So you know that stomach lies on the upper abdomen. Alright. So the stomach receives food from the esophagus. As food reaches the end of the esophagus, as in the previous video I showed you, isn't it? So how the food passes from the mouth to the stomach. So that muscular bag is known as stomach. Okay. It enters the stomach through a muscular valve called the lower esophageal sphincter. Okay, so that valve which is present just at the end of the esophagus is known as esophageal sphincter. Okay, the stomach secretes acid and enzymes that digest food. Now we come to the next enzymes, okay, in the stomach, secreted in the stomach, which helps in further digestion of the food. Alright, let us now see what happens inside the stomach. So the digestion of the food, it takes inside the stomach. Alright, so you know your stomach is an elastic bag, so it contains glands called gastric glands, okay, which secretes gastric juice. Now this gastric juice, it contains water, hydrochloric acid and an enzyme known as pepsin. So this enzyme is again responsible for converting food into simpler substances. So what does it convert? Let's see. Okay, it converts protein. Alright, it converts protein into peptones. So protein present in your food is converted into simpler form known as peptones with the help of the enzyme which is known as pepsin. Okay, so this is the second enzyme we are coming across. You have to remember the name of this enzyme and its function. Okay, so we have another protein, okay, a type of protein known as casein. Okay, so this protein casein is present in the milk, okay, and the food which contains milk. So this protein, okay, it has to be converted, this casein has to be converted to curd. Alright, that is the simpler form of casein. Okay, it's broken down to curd. Alright, so it is done with the help of the enzyme known as renin. Okay, so remember the name of the enzyme, which is renin. Okay, so this is the third enzyme, the name of the enzyme we are coming across. Alright, so please remember all the names of the enzymes and its functions. Okay, so here in the half the food, okay, the food is converted into simpler substances inside the stomach. Okay, and this simple form of food, okay, which is thick paste like substance, it's a pulp like thick paste which is known as chyme. All right, so this chyme moves into the first part of the small intestine. Okay, this is here how it moves from here. Okay, this is a chyme, it moves from here like this. Okay, so the small intestine also, there are many glands and the enzymes. All right, so we'll end it here now. Thank you.